Good morning and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How you doing this morning, bud?
I've had a bit of a Britney moment. Oops, I did it
Well,
again.
somebody
Yeah, yeah. A small bit hungover, but look, that's just life of an Irishman, isn't it? So
yeah,
have a good strong cup of tea, and yeah,
yeah.
we
Why
get
did
on with
God
it.
invent whiskey so the Irish wouldn't take over the world? I've heard it all. Yeah.
That is probably a fact, but it's actually why did he invent poutine? Because whiskey is for women, poutine is for men.
What the hell is poutine?
Poutine is basically an Irish drink that's fucking rocket fire. Like maybe about that much of it,
Right?
and you will be fucking plastered, absolutely shit faced for the night. Yeah, it's like I can't remember. It's nearly pure alcohol.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's like grain alcohol type of thing.
Yeah, it would nearly kill you. Like it's made from potato skins and stuff like that.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
your
yeah,
farmers get it, and it's delivered in little plastic bottles like this.
yeah. It's like a vapor. You got to drink it, and it feels like you're drinking a vapor.
Oh yeah, but like you look,
Oh yeah.
it would just fuck you right up. You know.
They'll kill you because you know
Stop being over dramatic. It won't. You'll be grand. Just fucking sit up in the corner. Wait. Do you know
Maybe
what I mean?
kill me from being old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see a
Look,
I'm a teetotaler, so there's no way.
many days, or many days, many nights. We went bushing as young kids. Out in the golf course, drinking during the night. While our parents are sleeping, gaffing out. We hadn't a fucking penny to our name, so we were raiding our parents' drink cabinets. Do you know what I mean? Putting a
Oh
bit of
yeah.
whiskey, putting a bit of poutine. We used to call it actually a donkey's bollocks. And it was like, what are you drinking tonight? Donkey's bollocks. And that is basically a mixture of everything from your parents' drink
Yeah.
cabinet.
Yeah, you
And
skim everything so they don't say it, right?
yeah. And then obviously, you get so fucking drunk that you fall asleep. And then, the golfers would wake you up at fucking 6 a.m. in the morning as you're face down in a fucking sand bunker, sound asleep. Anyway, yeah, the things that we do as kids. Good times, good times. Anyway, yeah, so this week, a lot happened this week, I suppose. How did your week go, Jakey Poo?
Nothing does than Mr. Shopper trying to get
Miss-
everything ready for you know getting all kinds of expensive bespoke parts. I got hit for $1,000 for a
A hooker.
I wish it was a hooker. Um, another thing will kill me at my age. A steering damper.
Hmm. Right, okay.
Yeah, because they only make it for that one bike. I'm like, God, Owen's unit. And Owen's unit, like we were saying, they're good if anybody gets one, but they're fragile. They go bad.
Well, it's not that they go bad. Look, like there's
You
there's
start to
there's
leak.
different levels of Olins, really, right? Okay, like you have the Olins for the mass market, which are made. I wouldn't say they're as robustly made as maybe a sack spring or something like that, right? But they are fairly robust. But like when you start fucking around with the internals of your shocks and suspension like that, all of a sudden it kind of goes away from the main road ones to kind of a more race one. And like any race parts, then they have a normal shorter lifespan than things. So if your bike is sitting for 2 years and you throw your leg over it, there's probably a good thing that the first time you heavy brake, you'll blow the blow the fork seal straight out of it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So and look, that's what thing. They're not designed for, like, race components are designed to be serviced every year, right? So it's not
I wonder why that's it. Maybe that's the reason that I always wondered why. Like, if you get say brakes, you have Brembo M50s.
mm,
You get Euro models, they have the race upgrade type. They have a M50 Brembo, right?
yeah.
If you get a Japanese bike, it still says M50 on it, but it's a totally different set of brakes.
Oh yeah, but that's like
They're like
like
the European one, the off the shot, the race upgrade level is way
yeah,
better.
But
you know, than the
it's
option
like
model. But they still
anything,
use
right?
the same. But they still use the same indentation. They're still model. They still call it the M50, which is kind of misleading.
Yeah. Yeah, but they would still have the same external model number, right? So that's common across everything. Like you take a car like a BMW, right?
Yeah.
You have the i4, right? And then you have i4, M4, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Mhm.
They all have a different internal product code to say what this is. And I can guarantee you that if you took off the brake calipers off both and looked inside and saw the serial or the model number, it would be completely different. It would be an M50, but it would be a type race, or would it be a
Right.
type
Right.
a
Same with
type standard?
suspension. The
Yeah, yeah,
TTX, you'll get a TTX. You get a Japanese bike, it'll have a TTX 30, but it's the production model. Like it'll have cast
yeah.
aluminum body,
But that
right? And
but that
and
would
the
be expected,
European one
though.
will have billet body because it's an off the shelf racing
Yeah,
upgrade.
it'd be more race
Better unit.
oriented.
And that's why you pay a little more for the European bike.
Yeah, well, European bikes now are
Yeah, we're
special
shooting
about
for.
bikes.
We want to get Mac onto a Ducati or a Aprilia. So somebody help. Hey, at least somebody. We want somebody to come by and let them take a test ride or something like that. Because Ireland, it's tough to
Yeah,
get test rides and stuff.
it's tough to get test rides. Yeah, and it's tough.
You
And I am
maybe,
trying to talk
maybe
to
somebody
manufacturers.
come by your house and let take a spin on the bike. One of our wonderful members. When it can,
I don't think there's too many Ducatis and Aprilias now in Ireland, Jake. To be fair, although yes, look, we will talk to. We did last week after last week's podcast for the shits and giggles, talk and discuss about the prices of bikes between Ireland and America and this, that, and
Oh,
the
I
other.
know. You guys
And
get
for long story short, I contacted the Ducati dealership in Dublin in Ireland. I'm obviously at the bottom end of Ireland, so I asked them for the base model V4S, and they told me that it was 36,000 euros for the base model. That's the fucking base model. And I
that's
put
right.
this.
That's right. It was 36 for the base model and 36, like $41. It was like the same. It was the same for the S as it was the base model, and it should be a $7,000 difference across the the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
and anyway, it was like when we looked at the base model Yamaha, it was like 24. There was 12,000 euros difference in the base models, and yeah, so that just kind of made me laugh, I suppose.
Well, you guys pay
Like there is no way in this God's green earth that I would give.
There's a lot for the Yamaha too. I mean,
Huh?
you guys get the shaft from that.
We have VRT and VAT from if we bring a bike in from the UK, and it's a bit shit. But look, it is what it is. Anyway, so the only really other options I'd have to look at is like going to likes of Germany or Spain or whatever and buying a bike from there, and then I wouldn't get caught for the VR or for the VAT, but I would get caught for the VRT. Yeah, and look, it's just really expensive. So I don't know. I'm going to either try and get a manufacturer to give me a spin on a bike, or we'll try and save up and buy a bike, another one.
Hey,
But I'm not selling any of my other bikes.
Yami Noob, he has that thing about renting bikes. People rent their bikes out. Take a look or ask him because I remember him saying it was worldwide. This company that does it. So maybe we can check that out. And if you need it, I'll even pay for your freaking day for you on a Ducati or because I know you're gonna be like, wow, this is a hell of a this true. That's a hell of an upgrade.
I'm sure. Look, like I do have a number of bikes, everything from 600s to 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone does know me, I got my 600, which is it's 2009, but it's just the bike I always wanted.
Yeah.
It's my everyday rider. I'd say I have done maybe 50,000 miles on that bike since 2009. I have had the engine rebuilt a couple of times. My engine builder is in the UK, a fella called Mike Hemingway, and he's had successful he builds bikes for our engines for BSB,
Mm-hmm.
He's ex-Aprilia MotoGP. Well, not MotoGP. It would be 500s. So he's a two-stroke specialist as well. And obviously he's built engines for the TT and this, that, and the other. And he's very old school. I love going to his place. Do you know what I mean? There's not a fucking new school machine and thing. But like realistically, coming out the back of the R6, I think it's like 138 horsepower from it. Now, stock they come out at 115, maybe 110. So like there's a lot of, but that's 138 reliable horsepower. Like I've never one of his engines that I've had have blown. Do you know what I mean? So, and I've pushed them. Trust me, I fucking pushed them.
I just say I know you put.
So for me, when I look at it, I would suppose where I live, and I'm dying actually. I should actually do a video someday, but I'd probably get arrested if I actually put it out on air. I live on a windy roads here in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So, like pushing 1,000 compared to pushing a 600 through those bends, the 1,000 is like a fucking big old.
I gotta see these roads. I mean, really,
it would. But again, what I mean is like you just can't carry the speed on the 1,000 that you could carry on the 600. Do you know what I mean? And it's, and the horsepower difference. Okay, there's about 60 horsepower difference, but the 1,000 is heavier. The inertia is more going into corners. So for me, where I live, I can push the 600 harder and faster through the bends. Top speed doesn't really matter because there's no major straights except when you get onto maybe a dual carriageway or an interstate or whatever. But that's fucking boring, just going 100 mile an hour or 300 or 210 mile an hour in a straight line. So that's no fun really. But
I've done it by accident, by the way.
I would go on.
My Triumph, I have a, don't laugh, I just sold to my buddy a worked Triumph ST 1050 Sprint. I mean, worked to the balls in the cams and the whole 9 yards. And they always have clunky transmissions. So I'm up and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm in top gear. I don't realize I'm in top gear. I'm hitting it, right? And I'm thinking, oh shit, I lost a gear, right? Here, I didn't lose a gear. I'm in 6th gear going 160 mile an hour. I went, oh shit, down the highway.
Yeah. I've got caught with that I let the bike battery go dead.
Yeah.
And charged it up, threw the leg over the bike, and obviously the systems and the dash revert to factory. And the bike, my R6 came from the Northern Ireland, so it reverted back to mile an hour. But I was in kilometers an hour normally, so obviously like 60 kilometers an hour. So if you're thinking you're only doing 60, so you're chilling, but you're actually doing 100 kilometers an hour because you're doing 60 mile an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like, it took me about 20 minutes, half an hour to realize that I was doing that. So I was riding around. It's like, this kind of feels a bit quick. And next thing I was like, yes. Anyway. Right. So Ducati, the factory launch. What did you think?
It's a Ducati factory launch, kind of like the rest of them. I didn't think it was that. I love that factory red. I mean, to me, that is a sharp bike. I mean,
yeah. So I've been doing a bit of digging, and I haven't done a video on this yet, but I've been doing a bit of digging about Lenovo's partnership. Now, there's a couple of things, right, that I think. So when I did the inquiry about the Ducati, right?
I gotta give you kudos. Your business prowess has impressed me lately.
What I noticed about the end of the terms and agreement and stuff that they sent me, and they actually sent me a configuration tool to configure my bike, right? And at the end of it, so like I could put on carbon discs and blah, 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 right? And at the end of it, it says something about Audi. I'm trying to find it again. So Audi is more involved with Ducati than we believe. That, like, for example, if you're going out and buying a bike, why is Audi mentioned on? They sent me a link, and down the bottom of the link, what does it exactly say? Oh, it says about the marketing group or sorry, the group. Copyright Ducati Motorbike Holdings SPA, sole shareholder company, subject to management coordination activities of Audi AGI, all rights reserved.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, I think that's a bit of overkill that they're putting it in, but I reckon a lot of this funding for Ducati is direct from Audi, more so than we know. Do you know what I
I
mean?
would think so because, my God, I mean, they only sell 60,000 bikes. It's kind of like a Ferrari deal. When you go,
Yeah, yeah,
how can they get this much out of this
yeah.
scale?
So I now have no. So my point now, realistically, is that if Ducati ever need to raise their funding and budget, Audi will raise their funding and budget. Do you know what I mean? I was worried at one time saying that the factory was quite small, but I'm now very confident that the money is there.
Yeah, but they still got stockholders that do.
Oh, they do, but they don't really have any other racing.
No,
Motorbike
admittedly,
racing thing.
they've been motorcycle guys forever. I mean, the board of directors have their own bank. The board of directors made their own bank to finance other motorcycles. They have more than that. They have more than Ducati.
The next thing that I was checking out was Ducati's relationship with Lenovo was not just kind of the basic sponsorship with a couple of computers and a couple of monitors and this and that and the other. Lenovo is actually developing an AI system and has developed it, and it's called Remote Garage. Now, this is a fairly standard thing in Formula One. It's very fucking expensive, but it's very standard in Formula One. But what this is now going to do is that on average over the course of a race weekend, between the 8 Ducati bikes, there's 100 gigabytes of data gathered. Now that's quite a lot. Like if you have a normal phone, that'll probably fill your phone in 3 days. Do you know what I mean? In 3 hours or 5 hours of running. So it is pretty extensive, the amount of data, and all of those are ones and zeros and whatever, right? And Lenovo now have created a way for Ducati to be able to use that data live. So the Ducati engineers in the factory, or the Ducati engineers in the wind tunnel, or the Ducati engineers in the fluid dynamics department will see the data real time. The chassis department and everything will see that. So if you would like, and the kind of the way it works in Formula One is that, yes, these are all transmitted straight back to base. They, like McLaren, have shown that they have mission control or whatever the fuck it is, right? Where they have a room with another bank of engineers inside there. And then they're taking the live data from a session between session 1 and session 2, plugging that into the simulator, right? Getting their sim driver then to test different things and then get back the information to the thing. So this obviously, look, this is massive infrastructure cost, I would presume. AI development, which AI is pretty scary in itself in what it can do. I deal in the industry of AI, so I have a full understanding of we could be taken over by machines in the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
This is something that's going across the motorcycles, across the cars, across many different.
Yeah, but it's all. What I suppose what my point here, Jake, is that it was never in motorbikes. Like it was always. So you download the data. Your race engineer, the trackside engineers, they would have a number of engineers at the track. And Joe, kind of like what goes or happens in Vegas stays in Vegas until they get back to base. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, you know, you're going to have a fucking army of people now engineers going over every single session and then trying to get a correlation between what the rider says and what the data says faster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
Well, they're going to need it if they keep cutting their track time down. Pretty soon they're going to not let them out of the garage.
you can't.
You just have to pull out and go to the race.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't think that's either too bad. Too. Do you know what I mean? I actually, do you know something? I love the fact of like a clubman's racer, right, Joe? He pulls the bike out of the back of the van, right?
No.
And he doesn't know what way the fucking weather is going to be. He knows it's going to rain or it might be dry, right? One or the other, right? And he knows fuck all else what's going to happen in that weekend. And it's not about preparation, it's about dealing with the situation. Do you know what I mean? And that's clubman racers up and down or around the world. Do you know what I mean? Yes, America tends to go a little bit above this. I watch a fella from a thing called Sports Bike Track Gear. He's a young fella racing in, I think, in the AMA. Yeah, I think he was 300s last year. He's 600s this year. But like the setup that man has, right, is by far not professional, but way over a clubman. Do you know what I mean? Like a clubman is pulling. Like I remember,
we're a new era, pal.
Huh?
We're modernizing. We're going to a new era.
Yeah,
when the men, none of this men and sheep were scared crap anymore.
Out the disco on the Friday night and the Saturday night, hung over to fucking race on.
No, we're professionals now.
Yeah. But yeah, look, I think it's very interesting the way Ducati are going to go down the route of the AI with Lenovo, and it's good to see that Joe. They're partnering with someone to. It's not just a sponsorship. Give me your money, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's a partnership to develop the team.
And that's the thing. It's not the 8 bikes, folks. It's the fact that their engineering is so strong. That's what makes Ducati. Like Honda could have 16 bikes, and guess what? They're still going to be the weakest engineering in MotoGP. These people are making a scapegoat out of the 8 bikes crap. Like I said, they don't even want the 8 bikes. Which is the if you can explain that one to me, please do. Because they don't really want the 8 bikes. They keep saying, I don't really want the 8 bikes.
Yeah, well, like Uzio came out and he said, Joe, like they could end up with 8 bikes. Like Uzio said that he'd like to sign with Ducati in the next 2 weeks. And that was on I think Ghost actually sent me that picture, and that was on MotoGP.com. And yeah, I think there's a massive thing going on there with Uzio and them giving Yamaha a kick up the hole as well, you know what I mean, to maybe drop the price. Now, saying that, Rossi's team is not worried about money. Seeing their team presentation the other day,
right?
There's definitely plenty of sponsorship. I was laughing at the guy from Parmatina in Giro, right? He just seemed to be a Rossi fan. More so than anything else, like fucking just delighted to be near around. Yeah. So, here's 20 million. I just want to sit next to you.
Yeah. How you doing?
You know what I mean? But no, look, I am sure that it is to bring their products around the world, but also highlight Indonesia across the world. I thought Rossi's one was okay. Joe, was more about the riders than the bike. Whereas Grassini seemed to be more about the bike than the riders, because they fucking dragged the balls out of bringing the riders out. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Jack Miller, I am really worried about Jack. Right, the season hasn't even started, and the media is already putting him under pressure. Do you know what I mean? And it's not even fucking started. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I understand that. Look, Binder is there. Binder has a 3 years left in his contract. Anyone that puts in a good performance in the gas or KTM will get that factory seat, right? We all know that Acosta is Pit Byra's love child. Do you know what I mean? He
Right.
wants him there. But again, I think it's just going to be interesting. Now we all know also that you know, Jack's riding style is just Jack's riding style, and
Yeah,
I can't see him
he's not
changing
going
it.
to have a championship. One of the members said it right because he's never going to have a championship. He's that good backup rider. He's that good
He's a number
second.
two, yeah. Do you know, he's like
Now, and Lorenzo, I didn't like Lorenzo burning him on that one. He said, "Well, I see his lines and they're always off. Every time he goes
yeah.
into a corner, his lines changes every single time." He didn't have to say that.
Yeah. Look, I think for Jack though, look, I think he's not capable to change his riding style. Do you know what I mean? I think he needs to.
We all once the mold's made, it's hard to break.
Yeah, it is, and that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not. It's just it is what it is. I think the riders coming up though are developed a little bit differently. Do you know what I mean? And I think they would be a little bit more. They have their core riding style, but they're able to adapt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking a little bit worried. I hate the fact that he is Joe. That the season hasn't even started. He hasn't turned a wheel. And I did do a video on it because it is interesting news in the way that like Ghidotti is talking about that he knows Jack is going to be under pressure. We all know the start of next season is going to be first 5 races or 6 races or so is going to be magic time for the rider market. I would expect all the main ones will be wrapped up for the first quarter of the race season.
You know what Jack's good for? Like just what he did with Pecco. He gets out. Say when Pecco got out there, and then if he was behind Pecco, right, it would be like a blocker. He always gave his teammate the time to breathe, or time to stretch out his legs, and that's what his main positive is.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because he's not gonna, like I said, he's not going to win titles. He might if he keeps going, he might have a chance to build up the manufacturer's tally.
Yeah. Like Jack is good. Jack is good in the wet. You very rarely bet against Jack in the wet, and that's because his riding style of turning the bike, using the slide. He's very comfortable sliding the bike. Do you know what I mean? Or the front and the back, and I think it's pretty interesting. The other thing is about Cito Pons, man. Jesus Christ! Did you hear what he said about Marc Marquez?
No.
Oh, he basically he said, what was it? He's like, loyalty is essential, and he basically called Marc Marquez disloyal for leaving Honda. And he was saying, yeah, and this is what it is. He was saying that yeah, sure, the Honda bike was not the best bike to ride, but also Marc Marquez kept throwing himself at the tarmac and injuring himself. And, if he didn't crash so much and be around, then maybe he would have been listened to more.
No, that's a bunch of crock of shit. As well as I say to see that if the bike was better, he wouldn't crash as much, for one. Okay? He crashed because he was having to override the bike. And it wasn't like the bike was bad for a year. It was bad from the day he threw his leg over it,
Well, 2017, the bike really started to go down.
Yeah.
And we tracked that. And yeah, look, I get it. I understand, and I think maybe it's a language barrier with Cito, and what he's saying is like towards the end of the season, the bike was showing a bit of competitiveness. Now, no other fucking Honda rider was showing any competitiveness. Right?
Where did
But
that come from? It didn't come from the bike.
Mark did well. Look, and I think where Cito is talking is that, like, he did get a podium in the sprint race in Valencia or whatever it was. But the decision was already made, and then he was having a go at Mark again as well for fucking drawing out the decision, and making the decision so long that it kind of left Honda in a bad place then, because all the good riders were taken and Honda were left with Luca Marini. Like he's a fucking yeah.
Hey.
Look, he's a Honda man. Look, he is what I would class as the ultimate Honda man. And at the end of the day, some of the stuff he says is right. Like I don't disagree with him that Marquez drew out the decision probably 3 months too long. Do you know what I mean? He should have just fucking bang. Do you know what I mean? Made his decision and moved on. And I get it. There was a lot to do, a lot to think about. Do you know what I mean? I get that, but the closer and closer it got to the end of the season, the more difficult it did make for Honda to find a competitive rider.
Right?
Did they find a competitive rider in Luca Marini? I do, and I think Cito was a bit of an arse about it. Marini is Marini is actually a good find for Honda, and we kind of talked about this a little last week.
Yeah. I looked at him again, though, man. He looks awful big. I'm sorry. I mean, he has wide shoulders on him, right? I'm going. Wide shoulders is good, okay, when they're short. Short, wide shoulders like Martin, right? That's a best rider body, like Kenny Roberts or Mark Marquez. Mark Marquez actually has pretty wide shoulders for his size, right?
Yeah.
But man, he's tall and he has wide shoulders, and I'm going. That has to add weight. I don't know what they're saying.
Well, look, the bike is 8 kilos lighter than last year.
Don't get me started on fucking weight and Ducati and
no. So the weight, no. The Honda bike, they took 8 kilos out of it.
Right.
So they took 8 kilos out of it. So that will definitely help it turn. And my understanding is the bike is an awful lot skinnier. To when you're on top of it, which is something that Mark and Mir were asking for. So it will be interesting to see how exactly. And look, we're not too far away from it, And what day is today? Today is actually the 27th. So tomorrow, and
it's still short and tall, though, isn't it? It looks
short and tall. Yeah, it is short and tall. Look, that's the Japanese ethos, rather than load long. But Mark and the Ducati boys, Pecco and Bezzecchi and Martin, they're all in Portimao, I think. Well, okay, today is Saturday, so Sunday and Monday, I think they're test riding the B4Rs around there. So if you're in Portugal, get your ass down there.
Yeah.
And then we have testing beginning, and I think it would be pretty interesting to see. Now it was actually interesting. There was one of the things, and I didn't do a story on it because it's a bit of a nothing thing about. People were giving Marquez warning about outpacing other Ducati riders and being like, you were all excited. Do you know what I mean? And the other Ducati riders were just like, it's the end of the season. I bait. Do you know what I mean? So they weren't, what was it, unmotivated? And I was like, there could be a little bit of truth to that, but it's not really true. I would think.
Right. Once you start going on that bike, your adrenaline pumps up.
Well, yeah, no. Like I do not believe Pecco went for it, and I do not believe Martin.
Oh no, I don't think they went for balls to the wall. No.
And I think that, and same with Bastianini. I think they were. I want to say conservative, more so because Martin kept fucking crashing, right? But Pecco and Bastianini really, really, really trying to drive on that engine, get an understanding of the engine. Like Ducati, are probably over paranoid of the fuck up they made in 22.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And they're really just putting miles on that motor. Now, Gigi is talking about a whole new kind of aerodynamic thing that's going to be released. I don't know. Is that just Gigi putting the shits up people? He has said the engine is going to be better and faster than the 23 model. And I'm kind of like, well, no shit, Sherlock. It should be. It's called development. What I mean? But saying that, the 23 wasn't as good as the 22. What Gigi has said. So maybe they've just learned the mistakes from that and
biting off more than they can chew. There's where the 8 bikes bit comes and bites you back, bites you in the ass.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, look, there's a number of things that the 8 bikes can bite you in the ass with. You know what I mean? And that is one of them. So it's kind of for me, it's kind of interesting to see. Now, I haven't fully watched it yet, and I was a bit drunk when it was actually on, so it's kind of why I didn't.
You're pretty good for a drunken Irishman, you know that.
Well, no, I'm not drunk anymore. I'm just hungover.
Yeah, I know, but you're
very different.
Pretty good for a drunken Irishman. You know, watching it with his load on.
Yeah, so kudos on that. So the Trackhouse Racing Aprilia team was launched in Los Angeles during the night.
I was just about Aprilia.
Huh?
I was just about to ask about Aprilia.
And now, to be fair, right, with the whole Trackhouse Racing thing coming in and publicizing and this, I was kind of half expecting that, Hulk Hogan or someone like that will come out onto the stage and rip off the shirt and be like, fucking, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And be like, yeah, real brash.
Yeah.
But it seemed quite a cordial event, actually. But I must go through it. I still, look, Miguel Oliveira, I think, if he can, I think Miguel Oliveira, and the only reason Miguel Oliveira got a factory bike this season from the very start was the fact that Honda were sniffing around him.
Yeah.
And they were like,
the PR win seemed to get taken out of his sails. You notice that?
Yeah,
he seemed to be a hot top. He seemed to be a hot property, and he went. Ugh.
Well, he was right, and he still is right. The problem is that he has a fucking arrow, or he has a fucking target zone on his back.
Yeah. But it's not his fault. But it's just, God, it seems to be.
But it does. It seems to be his fault because he's always in the wrong fucking place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those people where bad luck follows you around, right?
If he sat in a stands, a Piper Cub airplane would fly in and hit him,
Exactly. Joe, it's that fella in a field of 1,000 people that will put up an umbrella in a lightning storm, and he's the one that gets hit. Like, it's just like the person next to him is fine. Like, but with Honda sniffing around him, I reckon Aprilia said to him, we'll give you a factory bike next year, a full factory bike if you don't leave. Now, I know Raul is going to get a factory bike at some point in the season, right? But I find it very fucking suspicious. Like that, like, how could they, like, they're making bikes already, right? How can they not just give him, like, they're going to give Raul the 2024 engine in a 2023 chassis.
Okay.
Like, it's not going to take a lot to make 2 fucking other chassis. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, you know what I mean? And so I think while it should happen for Raul Fernandez, I think they're literally waiting for Raul to see what he is going to do and how he's going to perform before investing anything further in him, I would reckon. And the only reason they're giving him the 2024 engine at the start is because they can't change the engine to the 2024 if he starts with the 2023.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But for me, like, I think Oliveira has to have a big year this year.
Yes.
And I also think they want to see what Oliveira can do before they make their final decisions on Espargaro and Maverick. Like,
And I wonder if they're not putting it in the back of their head, or can we pick up Quartararo?
110%. The
You
only
know?
one, there's only two riders I'd say they know that they definitely cannot pick up. One is Marc Marquez,
Yeah.
and the other is Pecco.
Yeah.
Everyone else is fair game, right? Because Gigi has come out and called Pecco like his favorite wine. So, like, yeah.
He didn't sign yet. He didn't sign though. It's weird.
No, not really. Not really. No. I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect.
I think about it. Kind of late.
I would probably expect that it's done.
Yeah.
Pecco has said that the contract was closed, so I would think it's done, but it's just not going to be announced. And I wouldn't announce it either. Do you know what I mean? Why would you announce it? Do you know what I mean? Why don't you just piss people off? Do you know, and then sign whoever you want to do? Well, that'd be me. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to sign my 5 riders who I want to sign first and announce them all on the same weekend.
Yeah. You'll see when we go to the grid.
Yeah, exactly. The only person I actually really like, the only person I'm really worried about signing with Ducati is Martin. Will he shut his fucking mouth, play ball, and stay on? Because it's interesting to see, and like I know there was stories going around there about Mark going to the factory team. The sponsors wanted, and what Gigi actually, or it was one of them said, if Mark won the championship,
right,
of course there would be a pull there,
right,
to bring him to the factory team.
There's a pull there. Just who he is. Even if he does well,
but like
there's a pull there just because of his name and the sponsorship.
Yeah, but like I think for me, or even with them, I think I don't know. I don't see him going if he finishes second or third in the championship. I don't see him going there. Personally, I think it's kind of like against the ethos of what Ducati are, is that they normally try to bring up and breathe. Let's call it breathe their own riders.
Right, but
if Mark is winning the championship, yeah, I think so. If he's making it a good, or like I can even see Marquez refusing to go to the factory team. Just like I'm here. I want to enjoy the racing, and this is one of the things that like I really disagreed with Cito Pans on, and I've been called a Marc Marquez hater, which I'm not, but I understand fully why Marquez did it, right? And anyone that's ever won a championship will understand the years after you've won that championship and you don't win another one. They're the most difficult years that you can go through, because in your mind, you're doing a sport that you love, a sport that you have massive passion about,
right?
That you're at top of the world, and now you're not good enough, right? And you then start to doubt yourself, doubt your ability, doubt your conviction. And
everyone says you've been the best for so long, a phenomena. He's been told he's a phenomena, a goat for so long, right?
Yeah.
That he expects to be a goat still. You don't feel any different. He still has muscles. He's young. You know what I mean? He doesn't feel any different. He don't feel any different than the guy that won the 5 titles. Now he's on a better bike too, and he's going, I got to win.
Yeah, and look, and this is what I've said from day dot of like when Mark throws his leg over the Ducati, he has nowhere now to hide.
Yeah,
if he goes out there and beats Pecco, everyone would say, "Oh well, that's Marquez." If he goes out there and he finishes second or third on a Ducati, people are going to turn around and say, "Oh well, he's not on the factory bike." So but we've already seen with Ducatis is that factory and non-factory bikes can compete.
Yeah. Yes.
So like realistically, forget about him winning the championship. Where is a fair result for Marc Marquez in 2024? And for me, top 5 is a fair result for Marc Marquez in 2024. And why I say that is you have the 2 factory bikes in the factory team, and you have the 2 factory bikes in Pramac. Okay. And then you have the satellite teams, right? So for me, Mark should be the top satellite factory or top satellite Ducati home, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Number one. If it was going by selection of who is the best rider on it, like you have the two people in the factory team are supposed to be the best two riders that factory or that Ducati can get on the grid. That's then you have your sub satellite team, which is 3 and 4.
Right.
And then you have your satellite teams, which would be 5, Joe 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right. So for me, if you were to look at it as a specific numbers thing, Mark in the top 5 should be well. Do I really expect Mark to be in the top 5? No, I expect him to be higher. Do you know what I mean? I would expect top 3.
Just think of this. You remember 2022. You had Aragon, you had Pecco versus Marc Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Marc Marquez was giving him a run for his money on that piece of crap Honda.
Mm-hmm.
All right? On the 22, it was supposed to be better than the 23 Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that gap between that Honda and that Ducati is far different, far greater.
Well, no, I think you need to, yes and no.
The difference between a factory.
Alex Marquez also on the Honda had a really, really good race weekend there the previous year, right? So there are some tracks where a bike naturally goes well. That the characteristics of that track fall towards that bike.
Yeah, but I thought 100%. That was the Honda. That was Saxon Ring and
Ring. Aragon is another one.
No, I didn't think Aragon was one of them. I thought it was there was two. There was Saxon Ring and
Coda.
Well,
that they're more Mark tracks than Honda tracks, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, they turned left.
I didn't think they did well in Aragon.
Huh?
I didn't think Honda did anything in Aragon.
Honda would normally do okay, you know. Like if Alex Marquez can finish fucking second in a Grand Prix on a Honda after not appearing all season, you know. Anyway, so yeah, no, look, I just find it kind of, in my view, that's kind of, I expect Mark in the top 3. If you were to look at it from an analytical point of view, Mark should be top 5 of the Ducatis, Hondas, of the Ducatis home. So I think it'll be kind of interesting, I suppose, to see what goes on there with him. You know, like I think Mark is going to be sensible to a point. I think if he gets to back the love of riding, I think he will be fine. You know. There was also a question or a comment on, like, VR46 did their launch. They brought in Gigi or Digi Antonio to the team, and I mentioned that it was kind of outside the team ethos to of bringing him in. And VR46 team ethos was to start people in the junior categories and bring them all the way to MotoGP.
Okay.
So you had that with Marini, you had that with Bezzecchi, you know, not really with Pecco. There was the academy, but I think Pecco did go Moto 2 VR46, but he wasn't. But anyway, and realistically, while they do have young kids in the national championship, and look, it's very hard to keep up with these ones because there's not too much publicity. They have signed a new young chap. And I would presume what they're actually going to do is they're going to place them in teams. So, like, they've placed Vietti in a team again this season. So when they signed Digi Antonio, they had no real choice. You know, in the whole point of signing Gigi is, So when they signed Digi Antonio, they had no real major choice. Like, who else would you put in there? You know, Vietti wasn't ready. There's no one else in the academy ready.
Right.
You know, they've lost Marini, who is a safe person to bring home points, right? He's not the major point scorer.
Isn't there a new hotshot project that they could slid in there, or is it I'm thinking of that Moto?
There's Tony Arbolino, right? But I think for VR46, and just hear me out on this, is that they're now bringing in a lot more sponsorship and this and that and the other, and they're moving from, hey, let's try MotoGP to a proper MotoGP team, right? And results are going to be expected. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And championship results are going to be expected. And I think to bring in a rookie on very short notice is probably not the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Give him a year, give him testing, give him what he needs to get there, and I think he will be fine. I do believe that there is a young chap that is promised a Ducati seat in 2025.
Is that kid in the World Superbike that they're just raving about now?
No, I think he's
That's the
in.
partner with what's his face, the champ, in the Ducati champ. God, I should know his name. The World Superbike champion.
I don't think he's in World Superbikes. I think he's in Moto 2, but there is a young chap that it could be Arbolino. I'm not 100% sure, but there is someone that has been promised a
He just
Ducati seat.
topped the testing score, because
Oh, that's Bulliga. Bulliga was part of the VR46 Academy and got dumped for results. He's not an up and comer. He'll never get in back. I don't think he'll ever get back into MotoGP.
Oh, okay. You know what I'm talking about. He just topped the thing, and which his face, the weight is killing him on the is this fucking screwing up the bike on the Ducati.
Bautista?
Yeah, Bautista. The bike it's screwing up the bike. He said it's hurting the bike in every aspect. The weight.
Yeah. Okay. It will be interesting to see, and I think this will be the making of Bautista. If Bautista can figure out a way around this.
Well, now he's hurt, by the way. Apparently a lot.
He is. Yeah, apparently, yeah. I heard that. I heard that he was injured. All right. But it would just be interesting, I suppose, to see how he adapts to that. And like Bulliga is not small either. Do you know what I mean? Compared to, well, he's not massive. I don't think compared to compared to Bautista. Do you know what I mean? And so it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that. But it'll also be interesting to see how he will deal with a fast rider on the same bike. Do you know what I mean? Like he's had a chance, Joe. Like last year, Rinaldi didn't really trouble him. Do you know what I mean? Or for the past 2 seasons, and now if Bulliga does come in and put him under a bit of pressure, it'll be interesting to see what is actually the makeup of Bautista. Is he all that he says he is, or believes he is, or the world says he is? If you have a fast teammate, puts you under pressure, all of a sudden he starts taking chunks out of your lap time. Joe, you're a double world champion. He starts kicking your ass.
He kicked everybody's ass. Apparently, he was romping and stomping.
Yeah. No, I think day one he was like a second faster, but he did put on a cute qualifying tire at the end, but still sent out.
And whatchamacallit's doing well on the BMW.
Who?
Keenan.
Oh yeah. He is. Look, it is testing as well. Do you know what I mean? So like, I never really.
No, we know better to put all our eggs in a testing basket, right?
Yeah. Now, though, that young rider that I think has signed, it's either Aldeguer or it is Arbolino, I think. But I think it will be interesting to see where they end up. I think there will be a new rookie on a Ducati, and it just. Where is it? Like, huh?
It's Bulliga.
Bulliga is in Superbike.
Yeah. That's the one. What just was topping the top.
Yeah. He was a VR46 rider already. He got dumped out. I think he went into Moto 2 and he didn't perform and he got dumped.
Yeah, I finally got my World Superbike subscription. He finally took my money.
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah. Oh well, look, that's it. And like we have the MotoGP one coming up too. I must pay that actually. Thanks for reminding me. What else was I going to say? I did want to talk.
We want to get you into buy him a lot of beers or a lot of coffees. We want to see him on that. Get him into a new Euro bike, a Ducati or a Aprilia RSV4.
Yeah, I would prefer the Aprilia. I would think. I don't know. Like I'm very Irish in a way, right? So it's like the other way. Someone turns up in a Ferrari and people go, "Oh my god, it's a Ferrari." Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm the kind of person saying, "What sort of fucking idiot are you turning up in that fucking thing on stupid Irish roads that are full of potholes and fucking bums and dirt and whatever, destroying that beautiful car? You're some fucking dickhead." Like, do you know what I mean? That's just my thing, and I think I will be someone on a Ducati riding around in Ireland with big dirty roads and getting it fucking dirty and messy.
I was the youngest guy to run at a nine manufactured dealership when I was young, very young, and I just got out of college. And they had all kinds of brands there, and they could take whatever you want. I remember taking the Ferrari, and I was like, I don't want anybody to see me in this damn thing. Are there Mercedes to roll along with Mercedes? I'm like, I look like a jackass in this damn thing. Yeah. I'm just my own piece. I like my van that my head doesn't hit the roof.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's slow as dirt. I'm getting off a motorcycle, so the Ferrari was like, "This is fast." Call this quick.
Now look, I've driven a 360 Medina around Portimao, and they are quick, right? Don't get me wrong, they are quick. But if you're driving around and the roads are good, you're like, fair enough, enjoy your car. But Irish roads are not good. They're just fucking not, right?
Yeah.
And
Pennsylvania, where the frost line is, so we have they haven't figured out how to fill a pothole yet. It's always 3 or 4 inches over. Like they fill it and they fill it over. As in, it's going to push down, and it never does.
That's called a self-leveling system.
Yeah, it's a self-leveling. It's just it'll push down with wear, and it just never does.
Yeah. No, look, it's like it is what it is. But for me, that's kind of always the way I think when I see someone in a Ferrari. I'm like, you fucking idiot! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, stunning car, and you drive it on the Irish roads. Do you know what I mean? Take your Ferrari and fuck off to Spain or Italy, where there are some really good roads. And as well, you can't enjoy a Ferrari. I don't think you could probably enjoy a Ferrari on an Irish road. It's nice to have a look at it, leave it in your fucking shed. Do you know what I mean? Or your garage or whatever. What else? There was one other thing that I wanted to go through. Where is it? Bradl. So Bradl was testing the Honda during the week as well at the Superbike test. Didn't really get any major test times back from it, but I know he got around 70 or 80 laps on the bike. The bike doesn't look too different from the bike that they were running in Valencia. But Brad was giving a little bit more insight into it that he'll have about 40 days testing on the bike this season of time. So that's a lot of days to be testing. And then I know. If you have fucking riders falling off and hurting themselves, do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a lot of racing too, do you know?
If Honda did have a strong engineering company, well, they wouldn't. If they had strong engineering, they wouldn't be in the hole that they are now. But Christ, with all the advantages they have, they should jet right up to the front.
Yeah. Look, there's no hiding this year.
Yeah,
like there's no hiding for Honda, Yamaha, or Marquez this season.
Well, Yamaha has it tougher because they're dealing with the inline 4. They, you said that before. It's a tougher road to hoe. But Yamaha has a stronger engineering team than Honda does all day. They always did. Look at all, and if you look at street innovation, Yamaha always came out with stuff before Honda. Single rear suspension, single shock rear suspension, the box section aluminum frame, leading link front suspension, all that stuff Yamaha came out before Honda. And now when you look at it, you look at the EICMA show, you can see the quality. You know, the reason you can see why all the testers go, Europeans have been best for 16 years. They've won every test. The Europeans over the Japanese bikes, right? But then the second tier would be your Yamaha and Kawasaki, right? Look at the spec sheet and the fit and finish. And then the third is like the Honda, and then the Suzuki. Christ, Suzuki has they're in a deep hole, right? They just came out with a bike to save them, a GSX 8R.
8.
Yeah, 800cc inline 4, 95 horsepower. I shit you not. I'm going. It's milk toast. You're gonna like win over people, and it's ugly as mud.
95 brake horsepower
with an inline 4.
What the fuck?
And I looked at it.
You might as well fucking walk.
I counted the cylinders too. I'm like looking at it going, okay, maybe it was a misprint.
95 brake horsepower from an 800 inline 4.
Yep.
Just walk. Just fucking walk.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
They say they're
95 brake horsepower.
Even the financial pages are like they're just parking them in the back. This is such a sideline. They're just waiting for a time to get this, just fold it up. Just fold up the whole shebang. Just do outboard. They're going to do outboard motors, and what else do they do? Outboard motors. That's it.
Yeah.
You're going to pull out all together.
I don't understand that decision that they made to do this, but look.
And Honda, Price, they're bread and butter bikes. They had the scooter, the PCX. It's what $6,500 or $6,000. It's 150 cc's, 160 cc's. Things cost a fortune. And then they match up against a Taiwanese bike that has a GY6 copy engine. Well, the copy engine is lasting, and the other one's having all kinds of problems. How embarrassing is that? If they start slipping, I don't think they want to be a motorcycle company anymore. They want to be a car company. Huh?
Well, it's always been Honda Motor Company. Do you know what I mean? So, like
the old man rolling in his grave because he loved motorcycles.
He did. Like, look, there's no doubt in that. Like, he did love it. But look, again,
he wrote all kinds of things to keep the motorcycle division going on purpose, because he said, "I'm going to go."
Look, I think he had a kind of a similar ethos to Enzo Ferrari, and that was like, Joe, you sell cars or bikes to race, you know what I mean? That's it. That breed is gone now. Do you know what I mean? It's all shareholders and PC, and I think the corporate world. You know what I mean? Where like the only one that I would see that would be any relation to, or have the power to have any relation to the likes of Enzo Ferrari and your man and from Honda is Elon Musk. Like, because tomorrow morning he could turn around and say,
I want to do it.
We're not building fucking electric cars anymore. No. We're going to build fucking this, right?
Yeah, we're going hydrogen. Why?
And actually, Espinosa actually said this quite recently. He's like, we're not going electric in MotoGP. Hydrogen, maybe. Right. Electric, no.
So, dead
end. No, not going to fucking happen.
Well, Harley Davidson just shut all that down. They're not doing electric anymore. You have to have it because that was the United States government pushing them to do that.
Yeah. But look, I would think I would definitely think look, for me, electric, I can understand electric and electric cars, and like I've done some research on them, right? And um, the-
I
if
mean,
you're
can you
travel, if you only do short hops, and what I mean by short hops is 50, 60 miles, 70 miles hops, electric car is far more efficient money wise to run than a petrol or a thing, right? Yes, they are expensive. They're in their infancy. 5 years time, a battery that now costs $15,000 will cost three, right? That's what it's already happening, right? For racing and entertainment, and I suppose the ethos of a motorbike, right, is not just cruising along and looking at the landscape, right? It's a whole sensation, a feeling, and I don't think it will ever fly 100% that everything will go over to electric. And I get what thing, because we're quite the same within Ireland, is that they want 50% by 2030 or 2050. They want 50% of commuter vehicles to be electric. Get
Here,
it?
guess what? We got 2 years, right?
No, you don't. No. I read it in the States. The States is somewhere 50% or something like that. Yeah, as well.
No. That's the California rules. Is the difference between
Okay.
and 14 states went to said whatever California does, we're going to go and follow. So Pennsylvania, they're only selling. They're supposed to only sell electric bikes by 2026. Now, who's going to have that? The cops. Nobody's going to buy them. They're not even at 1% for sales, right? They're begging them not to let these things go. So it's dead in the water. Unless, but of course, the taxpayer is going to have to pay for it because, if cars stop chasing you, if you get enough space in between, he'll run out of juice.
I think, no, Jake, and I genuinely think this for shits and giggles, right? I'm going to give you a task.
Okay.
Right? I want you for one day, just one day, right?
Yeah.
To go and rent a Tesla Model Y Performance.
Oh, they're fast as hell.
One day.
Yeah.
Just one day, right? Just drive it for one day, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't come back smiling, I'll send you a free MotoGP Mac mug.
My friend has one. I already been in the car.
The performance one.
I don't know if it's a performance one.
No, you have to. No. You have to try a performance.
It was brand new 2 years ago.
No, then it's not a Model Y Performance.
Okay.
Get a Model Y Performance, put on lunatic mode, and go.
Now, I have raced the bike, by the way.
And then get the car to do the dance.
Okay.
The car does a dance and a light show.
Oh,
it is actually class.
Yeah. Hey,
I had a Tesla for a couple of weeks and a Model Y for a couple of weeks, and I did the light show for the neighbors' kids and whatever. And then people were coming knocking on the door. And they're like, "Can you make the car dance?" I was like, "All right, okay."
By the way, I forgot to say, did you ever look up the Honda Rune?
Rune.
RUNE.
No.
The
Honda
biggest
Rune.
foul up, I think. Well, I have a few fouls, but that one had.
So it definitely did ruin them, did it?
Oh. No. The R&D budget was left open. Like, do whatever you feel like, right?
Okay.
The Cruiser, they had all this new R&D, but it was for like how to make a different kind of exhaust. Like you had this mold, and the mold, you broke the mold to make the exhaust. All kinds of weird shit. They spent $257 million in R&D on a Cruiser, right?
Yeah, because they could.
How many they sold? 1,246.
Yep. Because they could.
You know where all the engineers came from? When they dropped when they got done with the V5 Honda, right? They shifted 30% of their engineers over to the car end place, right? The car end.
Yeah.
The car end made the room. Like the Pacific Coast. Remember the Pacific Coast?
I do.
That was made by the people that made the Acura.
Yeah.
That's Honda's R&D now.
Yeah, I get you. But look, we have MotoGP testing starting on Thursday.
What, this
in
Thursday?
Japan. This Thursday.
Oh my God, you're shitting me.
Yeah, it's
time flies. I'm
first, second, and third.
I'm a little kid.
February,
I can't find my Marc Marquez shirt.
Oh, my heart bleeds for you. You
God
fucking
damn.
fanboy.
Yeah, it's close as I come to a fanboy.
It is, yeah. Oh no! And your voice actually went kind of girly there when you said, "No, I can't find my Marquez for it." So we have testing this. So Thursday is the first, Friday is first, Friday second, Saturday third. So we have testing. So it will definitely be interesting to see what happens. So I'm going to call it now. Remember, Honda and Yamaha can use their race riders, and Ducati, Aprilia, and KTM can only use their test riders.
Yeah.
So my question to end today's show: dun dun dun. Who's fastest at the end of the test? Who does the fastest lap time at the end of the test?
Martin.
He can't do it. He's a factory rider.
Oh shit. Oh, what do you mean? Marquez? You can't.
Nope, can't. He's factory, or he's a thing. So
run us by me again. Who can ride then?
Who can ride? Savadori for Aprilia, Petroza for KTM, Crutchlow for Yamaha, Rins for Yamaha, Quadraro for Yamaha. Now Yamaha probably have another two Japanese test riders.
How can? Oh, because they have the concessions. They can ride both.
They have the concessions. Then you have Bradle and probably another Japanese Honda rider. And then you have the two Honda, Mir, and I think, who puts it in?
I'm going to say, in this particular case, I'm going to say the rider is going to outdo it. I'm going to pick Quadraro, my favorite rider. Now, I'm not doing that with my heart. I'm doing that with my head.
I'm going to go with Petroza.
I was going to say my second was Petroza. I was going to say Petroza first.
Yeah. I think Petroza is going to just go out and fucking nail it. And like, remember, folks, right? I love going through some data and think. Danny Pedrosa arrived at 2 races last year. So he did actually 4 races. And in those 4 races, he scored more points than Johan Mir.
Yeah.
Did in 16 races. Just FYI.
I was never a Mir fan from day one.
But no, I just think it's like when you look at your season and you look like it'd be okay if Danny was like 5 or 6 places ahead of him, right? But
right.
Like it was Pedrosa and then Mir. You know what I mean? The person ahead of you only did 2 races. You're just like, shit.
How'd that happen?
yeah. Oops. Anyway, on that bombshell, we will end today's podcast.
Remember,
I will try.
They're in England, maybe we have a short ride over to Ireland. Let him take a spin.
Yeah, I will try and start it out.
V4. Anybody with a Ducati V4, he has to experience it. De-virginize him.
Well, no, I've experienced a V4 from a 2010 RS V4.
No, I mean of the Ducati. You haven't been Ducati.
No, I haven't ridden.
You haven't dipped your wick in a Ducati.
That's what she said. Yeah, maybe we can get someone to give us a loan of it. But look, it's one of those things. Let's just try and do it. Let's try and arrange something, and then if not, we'll have to just find a way to buy one.
Yeah.
Anyway, right on that bombshell.
That's a little bit.
See you Thursday, everyone.
Yes.
See you Thursday. Yeah, we'll have a chat on Thursday. Have a good one.